دشقانت مغبت يوداء شاميرا شلام لخون أنا ريبيكا سايمون إتلان خادنا أرخرابة interesting نينب يوخانا قد إلخا إيالا جيل ويلي جابت كندا جوشيتت 3 خرطات مانصار شنوبة بتايل لوس أنجلس كاليفورنيا قرخطة تراك اند فيلد USC إنا خامدي قووم لجو خيتو قد دستني وشخلوب له ووار لجو سوشيال ميديا عادية إتلي فيديوي على السوشيال ميديا جو تيك توك يوتيوب فيسبوك انستغرام إتلي قرابة 1.6 بليون بي viewers وإتلي قرابة 5 مليون subscribers قد فيديو كي جشقيلو فيديو إنا رابا بريشة من فيديو خيني قد ناشمة توينا فيديو إنا باسط سبايوتا kindness رابا بغدايخ قد أدية من نينب يوخانا بتهمزم مخشلام على نينب
سلام دقيق
بسيمة رابا بسيمة تيلوخ لخا من همزملوخ أهمزم تن بخشام طلبتو أهلا بليشان إنجلس همزم أخلا luckily أنا خدجة إنجلس كاتا Neenib, you are a very interesting young man. You're only 24 years old.
24, yeah.
And you came to California for a different purpose. And then, boom, you just changed your destiny, your goals, what you wanted to do. And you went to what I call the business of random acts of kindness.
Right.
Could you tell us what happened that you just became interested in doing random acts of kindness and capturing it on video and posting it on social media?
Right, yeah. So when I turned 18, I just graduated high school in Canada, and I moved to California originally for track and field. So my whole life, I just always thought I wanted to, my goal was to run in the Olympics one day, and just do track and field my whole life. But as soon as I got to Los Angeles, something changed in me where I didn't have interest in running anymore, and something clicked in my head to try social media. And originally, I did it as a joke with my friend, just making silly videos. And the very first video did pretty well views-wise. And then I thought to myself, let me try again and do this. And then it went well from there. So I stopped running track and field. I was one of the first people on TikTok when TikTok came around. And I started posting on there, and I had around almost 400,000 followers on TikTok. And I didn't tell anyone about it because I was shy. Before I would make comedy videos, so funny videos like skits, things like that. And I was 18 at the time, so I was just being a bit silly, making funny videos. And then I grew that TikTok to over 1 million followers, and then COVID happened. And then when COVID happened, that's when I stopped posting. I went back to Canada for about a year with my family, and that was just a very hard time in my life. It's just so much change. I didn't have that interest in making videos anymore. And I just didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I was still in school, but I was on and off. And when I went back to Canada, I was there for about a year. And after I hit a year, close to the end of COVID, is when something clicked in me. And that's when I really just gave my life to Christ. And I got really close I was always religious. I always believed in God. I always prayed. But during that time, there's a difference between actually believing and actually being a follower of Christ. So I feel like I was a believer back then. And when I fully gave my life to Christ, I said, like, I went in my room and I just prayed. I said, like, God, I'm done living for myself. I want to live for you. And from there, I stopped swearing. I stopped listening to rap music. I stopped like basically sinning. I didn't have that desire to sin. It's not like I was forcing it. It's just the love for God became so strong that my body didn't desire sin anymore. I wanted to live this righteous life. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life that time. I'm always praying to God, like, I want to try this, I want to try this. And then everything I would try would just completely fall to the ground. And then I thought to myself, I said, I have TikTok followers. I don't post anymore. Why not go back to TikTok and use that platform for good, like trying to help people with it. And then my very first video that I posted, doing kindness videos, and it hit 4 or 5 million views, and from there I just knew like God was telling me to do that. So one video after another, I really started to grow the platform, and in a year and a half, I gained over 3 million followers across, added on to the followers. So right now I'm at about 4 million, but honestly I couldn't do it without God, and yeah, I just had so many signs from God telling me to continue this, to continue this, and here I am today, like very thankful and blessed to be here.
Neenib, you mentioned something clicked inside me twice.
Yeah.
When you first started, and then when you took a break for a year and restarted it. Can you get a little more detailed and tell me what that something clicked was,
Yeah.
and how did it happen and why?
Yeah, so growing up, like I was religious and I was very happy. I was a happy kid growing up, doing sports, everything. And then when COVID happened, like my happiness just went away. I was very sad. I was just wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life. I was trying different things. I was thinking, do I become an airplane pilot? Should I try acting? Should I do social media? Should I go back to school, be a cop? Just all over the place. And I didn't have much friends during that time. I had a very small group of people that I was thankful to have. They've always been there for me, but it just felt like there was just so much noise in my head, and I just wasn't happy. I was sad, and then I reflected. I said like, what happened to me? Like, and you know, I used to be I was always very disciplined growing up. Like even the littlest things, like I haven't drank Coca-Cola or Pepsi since 8th grade. Like little things like that, for example, like just very disciplined, like trying to be like just very strong-minded and not fall into these bad desires. And then during COVID time, I found myself kind of being undisciplined. Like I lost that main character point. And then I reflected. I was like, why is this happening? Like, where's the old Neenib? What's happening to Neenib? And then I reflected and I said like the best times in my life was when I was praying to God every night, when I was close to God, and yeah, like I during that period, like I would for just little things, like I would forget to pray at night before I sleep. Like I was kind of just living for myself pretty much, and that's when I reflected. I was just so tired of everything, and I said like God, I'm done living for myself. I want to live for you now. And from that very moment, like I just felt the Holy Spirit, and honestly, my life's changed ever since. And the best decision in my life was not starting social media or anything like that. The best decision in my life was really just saying, God, I want to live for you and not myself. And from there, it's been blessings, honestly.
I understand the despair you felt. A lot of young people and children
Right.
and older people also felt that despair of the lockdowns and an abrupt change in one's life throughout the world. It wasn't just specific to a certain geographical area. And I think Canada had it a little more extreme than the US. And a lot of people felt that melancholy and that loneliness and that loss of freedom, loss of moving about. But that despair caused you to change and do something, and it brought you closer to God.
Yeah.
So your inspiration is for this kind of video posting is just to be good, just to show people that you are good?
No, it's really, I want to show like Jesus's love through these videos, like being kind to one another, because like God is love, and it's a free gift that He gave us, and it's the most beautiful gift that we have, and kindness is a part of that. So the main goal is just to really just encourage people to spread kindness, and just being able to grow a platform where I could also, if someone's really struggling in a video I make, I can start a GoFundMe for them, and people all around the world come and they donate and they change that person's life. And it's not really me, like I'm just the one with the platform that just makes the website, tells their story and everything. But it's really like the followers who come together and donate and help change these lives. And yeah, so it's really just to show God's love and just try to put some good out there, because on social media there's a lot of bad stuff on there, negative things, and it hurts people's brains, like consuming content like that. And especially for the young kids nowadays, it's just all social media, phones, everything. So if I can just help out by putting some good content out there and putting a smile on someone's face, it really feels great. Like the Assyrians, they've been so kind to me, coming up to me, like saying like, "I love your videos, I love what you do," and I do. It feels even better when an Assyrian tells you that, and every time I come to events like this, it just motivates me more. When I go back, I have this like spark of energy, this motivation to keep going and trying to really get a bigger audience to just help put Assyrians on the map. And yeah, I have big goals, but it is gonna take a long time. But I do wanna do stuff for Assyrians as well.
Tell me about a couple of your favorite videos that you've posted and they've had, awesome
Sure.
reactions from your
Yeah.
followers.
So usually I start the day off with just praying to God that He leads me to the right person. And there was this one day where I felt the Holy Spirit. Like I knew today was going to be a good day, getting a great video. The money's going to go to the right person. I felt it the whole day. And I kept saying it to myself. And then I went around different places the whole day, didn't find anyone, didn't get the right candidate pretty much. I didn't find the right person. And then something told me to go to this one Walmart that I never really go to. And I went there and I saw this couple.
In LA?
In LA.
Walmart in LA.
Yeah, it's an elderly couple. They're named Roderick and Marlene. And so I saw them, and he was in a Walmart. He was pushing the shopping cart, and he was also pushing his wife, who was on a wheelchair at the same time. And you could just see from their face, like I felt them like such good-hearted people. I just felt like God was just saying like it's them, like go to them and make this video. And then I went up to them without knowing anything about them, and I just asked him, I basically tested his kindness. I was like, can you buy this lucky shirt for $1? And he ended up giving me $2. And then I gave him back $200. And then that's when he just started crying and bawling his eyes. And he's like, you don't know what I'm going through. And he told me that his wife has cancer for over 7 years. She can't speak, and they say that she's gonna pass away soon, unfortunately. And he's just been going through a lot, and you could see it in his eyes and everything. And the love he had for his wife was just like unconditional. And seeing that, like it was just very like heartwarming, very sad moment there. And as soon as I got home, I edited the video and I started a GoFundMe for them. And then the video blew up, and people donated over $33,000, I believe. And then went to his house, and a buddy of mine, we went and surprised them with the cash. And yeah, they were just crying and bawling their eyes out pretty much, but they were very grateful. And the money did help a lot for sure for them. And yeah, that was one of my favorite videos.
Have you had anyone that you said, maybe I shouldn't have approached them?
No, but some days I learned that if I don't feel it, don't push it, don't force it. Because one time I really wasn't feeling it at all, but the day was almost over and I almost forced it. I was like, let me just go to this person. And
I gotta find someone
yeah,
today.
and I learned to never do that, to just don't do it unless you really feel it. Because yeah, the video just it just didn't go as planned, didn't go well. And even though we helped someone, that's all that matters at the end of the day. But yeah, I try to just really focus on God in the center of this, because without Him, I don't think any of this could work. And yeah, so, but majority of the time, the people I go up to, very nice, very kind. Luckily, I haven't had any like bad experiences with anyone. So,
well, LA is full of homeless people.
yeah.
Have you helped any of the homeless people?
Yeah, there was one lady, actually, one of the very first GoFundMes I started for someone. Her name was Penelope, and she was this homeless lady. She didn't smoke, she didn't drink, she was very religious, and she wasn't married, and she was an elderly lady, maybe 60, 70 years old. And she got in an Uber accident because she worked as an Uber driver, and her leg was just pretty much torn. She couldn't walk. and her only way to get money was pretty much just asking people for money. So I saw her one day, and it was on Mother's Day, and that was like one of the days where like I usually don't film at nighttime, but that night I was like, God, I know there's like someone out there, like a mother. The whole point of that video that day, I wanted to surprise a mother working on Mother's Day. So I spent the whole day looking for someone. There was no one. And then nighttime came. I went home. I was like, I called it a day. I wasn't gonna film the video. And then I just went out that night, just hoping that like God would lead me to the right person. And I kept trying and trying, and I ran into her, and I shared her story online. And then even with her, people raised over $30,000 for her. We got an RV home for her, so she got a home, and yeah, it did help her out a lot. So um, it's like videos like that are really deserving, like meaningful, because it really leads to not just posting a video online, but it could really possibly change someone's life sometimes.
And the more of these wonderful helps that you give to people, the more of these you have, the more you get propelled to do more good work. So you start your work. It's really a work, right? Is that how you see it? It's a work,
Well,
or
I love
not?
it. Honestly,
What do you call it?
I think it's the best job in the world because I love doing it. It's not easy. Like people might think it's easy, but it's a lot of work. I'm always just thinking about it and working towards it. But it's something I love. So even if I'm doing it 24/7, it doesn't bother me. Sure, there's days like I really don't feel like editing, and I just want to procrastinate and then leave it till a day later. But at the end of the day, I love what I do, and it doesn't feel like work to me really. I do it not worrying about any like business side of it or anything like that. I just try to put my focus really all in God, and everything else comes with it when I do that. So
Everything falls into place.
everything falls
So
into place.
you get up in the morning.
Hmm.
Do you have plans, or you just say, let me put my clothes on and walk outside,
Pretty much.
see what I see?
I just improvise. I go out not knowing anything, and I'll grab my shirt that I put a like hidden camera in it, so they don't. So I basically test their kindness when they're not, because if they know I'm filming, they might want to just be kind because they know there's a camera on. So I have this like special shirt I wear, and I just go out and basically improvise whatever comes to my head. Sometimes I'll just drive around for hours and hours and just stop here. Let me go in here, see maybe I could do something, or maybe I'll see a girl selling flowers on the streets and
I saw
help
that
her.
video.
Yeah. So
$95 you bought flowers from her, and then you asked her to spread them to people for free.
yeah.
That was really nice.
Yeah, her smile was like contagious, and
Yes.
everybody.
She couldn't believe it.
Yeah, very nice, and she didn't even speak English. That's the
Yes.
beautiful thing about kindness, is that even sometimes I approach people who don't even know English, but through kindness it like speaks all languages. So it's really beautiful. Like any gender, any age, any culture will like loves just seeing people be kind to one another, and that's really like just a representation of God's love.
You mentioned something that you test their kindness. So they have to be kind to you first before you get kind to them?
Not always, but sometimes I'll want to test their kindness, and if they do pass, then I'll proceed and give them more money than what they
You
gave
want to
me.
make sure they're deserving of your
Deserving
kindness.
sometimes, yeah. And sometimes I don't even test their kindness. I just feel it, and I'm like, I feel this person. Maybe God's telling me that person, and then I just go straight up, just bless them, and then I hear their story, and yeah.
So you live in the valley, you told me, in Southern California,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of Assyrians in Southern California. In all of your visits, have you come across an Assyrian that you tested and then you found out they were Assyrian?
Funny story. I did once in Orlando, actually. I was in Florida a couple months ago, yeah. And I was in Walmart, and the whole video was finding someone who's having a bad day. So I asked this lady, like, are you having a good day? And she said, yeah. And then she asked me where I'm from. I'm like, I'm Assyrian. And then she's like, me too. And I caught that on camera too, and it was so funny.
That's interesting. Orlando, of all places.
Of all places.
Where there are only, I think, about 50 Assyrian households.
There's really not many.
That's really hitting the jackpot here.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, let's get to the financial aspect of this.
Sure.
Somebody has to pay your rent. your food,
Yeah.
your utilities, and your cell phone and everything else. Who pays that?
It's really me. Whatever, how it is, these videos will generate money when they do well. And that helps me to continue doing this and just help more people. So most of my money really just goes straight back into it. I don't really like to save. And like whenever I get the chance, I just want to, if more money comes in, that means I just want to do a bigger video. Like go take someone travel, take them to like a soccer game and things like that. The more like more higher budget videos. So I never really, I'm not very smart with my money if I'm being honest. People try to tell me like you should run this more like a business or be more smart with your money, but I I I didn't start that way, and honestly God's been blessing me. Like sometimes I just spend, like sometimes I'll just give away everything, and I won't know where the money's gonna come from, but then maybe like God just comes in and blesses with like a brand deal. A brand deal is a big part of the help for these videos as well when I partner with brands. Um, yeah, so I mean, there's lots of ways with social media where money comes in, and I don't really try to think like I'll never let it get to my head or anything like that. If I do make millions, that means I'll just give away more. So honestly, I don't have love for money. I don't wanna love money. Like in a way I hate money. But yeah, but
You don't want it, you just give it away because
pretty
you don't
much,
like
yeah,
it, right? So you allow the higher power to do the budgeting for you,
yeah,
and
and just take it one
somebody
day at
will
a
figure
time.
it out for you.
Yeah.
So you do. So basically, all the money that you give away comes from the advertisers.
Yeah, like
on
revenue
your-
off views and then off sponsors. Sometimes people will even donate sometimes to help out, and yeah, that's really it. So
Who are those people?
just random followers who want to be a part of the journey. I have like a donation link in my bio, so people donate there too. Maybe soon I'll start selling clothes, merch, just to help out. But uh, that's another thing. Like I almost feel bad selling merch. Like I don't want to like take money from the followers. I just want to give it. So
You just recycle the money, though.
yeah. So I will see. Maybe I'll change one day, but for now, I honestly I'm not the best
Once
with.
you have a wife and a kid, you
That's
may reconsider,
I might
right?
reconsider during that time. Yeah.
Unless you marry an independently wealthy woman who will take care of this and then some for you. Now, what is the largest amount of donation you've received?
Uh, Off of GoFundMe, it was around 35,000. And then we
A
just
single
yeah.
$35,000 donation?
Oh no, not a single. That was like one project, and people raised that much for it. But off a single donation, I want to say $1,200, $1,500, maybe around there, and that just goes straight to helping people.
Do people on social media ask you to prove how much money you're giving away? Has anybody come along and say, how do we know how much you're spending on these people?
No, not
Has anybody
really.
questioned you?
No. I think usually how it goes is the GoFundMe will show how much it's raised, and then I'll just give that straight to the person. So if we raise 10,000 for that person, the next video will be me like giving that money to that person, and basically uh, they see where their money went to, and that's a big part of why people love to donate for these videos, is that they get to see where the money actually goes to. Because some of these charities, they just ask for money, but you never really see where your money goes.
Very true.
So once you actually see where the money's going, it does encourage people to really do help out. Yeah.
You're transparent about how do your parents feel about what you're doing?
Yeah. So originally, I didn't even tell my parents much that I like dropped out of college and like was doing this, because you know how certain parents are, like they would get very upset if they knew I wasn't in college. Because I was in college at one point, but then I dropped it all. I was like, I'm gonna do full-time social media, to go do this, and I wasn't even making much money at the time when I made that decision. So, yeah, thank God once I got to a point where like my parents saw the videos pop up on their phone. Then they found out, obviously. So at that point, they were actually pretty supportive, helpful, and they saw the vision that I saw. And yeah, since then, I never would have thought my dad would support it because he'd want me to go to school, but he's been very supportive and wanting me to continue this. And yeah, they're very proud.
It's a very interesting charitable organization you have, loosely organized, yet very effective.
Yeah, it's very badly organized, but it just effective, I guess. Yeah, like you said.
And you're very powerful because, like you mentioned, you post a video and then you do a GoFundMe and you have enough good reputation for people to trust you.
Right.
And you raise over $30,000. I don't know how many times you've done that and how much it's going to grow in time. But you seem to be, your kindness has made you a very powerful person in some ways. Don't you feel it?
Not really, honestly. Lots of people in social media, it's easy to let the numbers get to your head and have like this ego or this pride. But honestly, I never want to feel that. I always like try to be humble under God. And I don't see it that way, really. I'm just a warrior of God, pretty much, just another servant of God. And I don't want to ever feel powerful or feel like I'm above anyone else. That's the last thing I would want. And we're all equal. And yeah, so
Your humility is humbling.
Thank you. Yeah.
And how long more do you think you can carry this on?
That's another difficult thing, right? Because with social media, at any time, it could just go down straight to zero. So I try not to have an attachment with it. Like I always say, like if I lost it all today, if the channels got deleted for whatever reason, if I did a bad video or made a mistake or whatever happens, and I lost all the social media accounts, I always tell myself like it doesn't matter because my identity doesn't live in these videos. My identity lives in Jesus Christ. So as long as I have Jesus, that's all I really need. So I always put it in my head that even if I lost it all, I'd still be okay. It doesn't matter. It was still a great journey, and I've learned a lot. Really, I've grown a lot doing these videos, just from speaking to people. Because I was even a shy kid growing up, so I like starting these videos was not easy for me. I really, so much anxiety and fear almost. And as my walk with God became stronger, I learned to not be afraid and to just always live like God is with you, because He is. So I've learned a lot. I've grown closer to God doing these videos, and at the end of the day, I don't know where this will take me. It could maybe I could be doing this for a year, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe until I die. Who knows? But I do still have the drive in me to continue this, and we'll see one day. We never know what the future holds, and the best gift we have is the present. So I always try to just focus on the present.
And you're a one-man operation, right? Does
Right now I
anybody
am.
help you?
Right now I am, yeah. So right now I'm all by myself, and I have friends who will come help me when I do need like extra hands and things like that. Luckily, I have some friends there, and they are Assyrian and Chaldean, so it helps. And I have a management team who just helps me find brand deals, work with brands and things like that. And that's really it. And whenever, yeah, I'm kind of right now. It's pretty hard sometimes, but I do at some point want to build a team, like hire an editor, maybe an assistant, slowly build, but we'll see. It's hard to give the editing to someone else. I've tried it and I didn't like the way they edited, so I was like, you know what, I'll just do it. So maybe when I find a good editor, I'll hire someone to edit. That would save me so much time, and honestly, I would grow faster because I don't even post that much. Like right now, I'm posting about once a week, but it's because I take forever to edit, really. So we'll see.
Because your videos are, the rough videos are how long? And you edit them down to how
Yeah,
long?
so rough videos, sometimes I'll be talking to a stranger for like 30, 40 minutes, and sometimes I'll have hours of footage. You never know. Like I'll be at Walmart just standing there talking to someone for 45 minutes, and I have to cut that down into a minute long video.
I see.
So it's a little tricky, like turning a 35-minute convo into a minute and telling the story right. And Yeah, it's hard, but honestly, I'm lucky to have learned how to edit, and honestly, everything when I was younger, like from learning how to edit and looking back at everything, it really just happens for a reason. Like without all the things I went through back then, I wouldn't be here, and yeah,
So why would you talk to someone for 40 minutes before
it's just
you
the conversation just gets so deep. Like I, I don't know that I'm gonna talk to this person for 40 minutes. Usually it's them talking the most. Sometimes people just want to be heard. That's what I've learned. Where I just start a conversation and they just start spilling everything. Like it's sad, but they sometimes like they feel better from that. Just talking to a stranger and telling them like how they feel and yeah, they'll just talk for so long and talk about their life, what they're going through, things like that. And I'll even get advice from them all the time. I always ask them like, "Do you have any advice for me?" I always like to do that, just get advice from different people, and yeah, I've learned a lot from
have you
everything.
talked to someone and then you realize they shouldn't need your help?
Yeah, sometimes like I could tell like they're having a good day. They seem like pretty well off, so I'll be like, let me try giving it to someone more deserving. So I'll go on to the next person.
What about somebody who needs help, but not in a monetary way? Do you
Sometimes,
ever do that?
yeah, sometimes with experiences like um, for example, like a soccer game, I'll collaborate with like AC Milan, for example, and I'll surprise like a kid and we'll take them to the AC Milan soccer game and they'll meet the players, walk on the field, and just give them this whole experience. And it's just like a lifetime memory for them. So sometimes
So,
it's not just money, it's just experiences. Yeah.
so do you have any of the celebrities or well-known people, have they contacted you?
Yeah, I've had actually like a lot of celebrities like my videos, like on Instagram. Like Khloe Kardashian has liked it. Usain Bolt, John Jones, the UFC fighter. Um, it's pretty cool when that happens because it's like it reminds me how powerful social media is, how it reaches these people. And I've collaborated with. I don't honestly. I don't like to collaborate too much with these famous people. I just. It's hard to explain, but lots of them. It just some crazy energy and I don't know, I just like to just be with God and focus on like what I'm doing. So but I have collaborated with some people and it's done great. We got to like bless someone in a good way, so that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Young man, my son, you are one of the most interesting people I've talked to. Very unique. You live a free life from what it seems to me from the outside. And you just live day to day. And you do things that are the most unusual, selfless. I'm sure you do get satisfaction, and that's what you live for, just satisfaction at the heart. It's usually said that why TV is full of, when there's news, it's always bad news.
Right.
And the TV stations always say, we have to show the bad news because the good news doesn't sell. In your case, the good news sells and sells really well because the world is a lot of ugliness, and that ugliness is projected and magnified to attract attention.
Yeah.
You attract attention by good deeds. That is so rare in our world, and I commend you for that.
Thank you so much.
And I really thank you for sitting down and talking to us. I had no idea somebody like you existed. You impress me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's an honor to be here and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Keep it up.
Thank you.